little trick to get pictures off of old film negatives and turn them into positives, if you will, and capture the data that you might have on some old film negatives sitting around. Okay, how do I do that? Well, my setup was to use my camera on a tripod. And below the camera, I've got my iPhone set with a white screen. I got the white screen by just creating a white JPEG file and going to galleries and opening that JPEG file. I use that as my projector. And then on a stand here, it allows me to very carefully focus in on the film. So there's a film set up over the camera, and that's what I use. The results of that kind of thing are things like this. You can see we've got different. I've got color slides. I've got black and white slides that I've captured, some better than others. So let's go from taking a slide that's a negative, like this one here, to creating a positive out of it. These aren't great slides. They're not supposed to be art, but here I'm going to just start off and I go into the develop module here, and going to transform. Okay, so transform here. I'll go to guided transform. What I'm just going to do right now is straighten out this slide so I can crop it nice and straight. Just going to the four corners here, okay, there you go. Go to my crop tool and unlock the crop tool. This is a little different size here. This picture, so I'm just getting the picture set up to nice and straight picture. Okay, I've got that straight. I'm going to go into Photoshop now. So I'm going into Photoshop, taking this picture and bringing it in. You can see right now it's not the best picture in the world, but I wasn't the best photographer in the world then either. So how do you convert this into a positive? Well, you start off with the picture down here below, and you can see on the layers there. I'm going to duplicate that J by Command J. I duplicate the layer. Okay, so now I got the layer connected. It's no longer locked, so I can modify it. I can invert the layer, Command I, and I got myself a color picture. So I just inverted the layer, Command I. You can also, I think, do it if I knew the commands all the time. Command invert layer. There's somewhere in there is an invert layer, but of course the color is a problem on this particular layer here. You can see it's too blue. The way I'll fix that is I'll take a curves adjustment, add a curves adjustment to it. I'll take the center eyedropper here and click on something that should be white. There, now you got it. Color picture from a negative. Pretty darn simple. Black and whites work about the same. So if I go to, let me save that file. Let me go to a black and white that we had. Go back to Lightroom. Select a black and white picture. Let's get one that's a decent picture. In fact, I don't know what this one is. We'll find out what it is, if it's even good to look at. Let's go to develop module. Okay, there's some people in this picture. Looks interesting. And we'll find out who these people are. So let's go to transform again. I'm going to go guided transform. I'm just going to straighten this picture out so I can, because sitting there on the iPhone, it's all kittywampus. That looks okay to me. I'm going to do that. Okay, unlock that layer. Get the picture down to about where I want. You can crop it anywhere, obviously. I'm going to crop it here, and go back to library. I've got the picture now cropped. I'm just going to straighten, using this little arrow key, straighten the picture out. Go into, or rotate the picture. Go into Lightroom. This is even easier than black and white, but it works pretty good. Same sort of idea. Invert the picture. So I've got this picture here. I believe that's probably my wife and her brothers. I'm going to, since this layer is locked, I can't do anything about it. I'll Command J, create a new layer, and I'll invert the layer. Command I, invert the layer, and there she is. It's her older brother Adrian, Michael, and Helen, the three of them. I had never seen this picture before. It's something that I found in a box full of these negatives. I think it came from my mother-in-law. It's got a little bit of blue spot here, so I'm going to go to image adjustment, black and white, just to make sure it's all black and white. And of course, at this point, you can do some different things with it. For example, a nice layers adjustment, a curves adjustment could do some good to it. Give it a little an S curve, more contrasty. Picture's a little blurry, but probably taken by my mother-in-law, who was a notoriously bad photographer. Anyways, there you go. Pretty simple, huh? And we'll do a file save on that, and that's it. Hope you enjoyed that. Pretty darn easy.